So here's the thing. So that same person will tell you that they also want to serve people. So I'm like, well, why you want to do this business? Oh, I want to serve people. I want to help people. All right, well, cool. Well, here's how you shoot the video. Oh, well, I don't want to get on video because fill in the blank with excuse. Right. It's like, well, no, you don't want to serve people. You care more about how you look or how you gonna come off. Like, you don't really want to serve people though.
Right.
Like, so, and that's okay. But be honest about it though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be honest about it. Just be like, I care more about how I look, what people may say about me, which they typically probably aren't, because people don't even care about you as much as you think you do. I care about how I sound on video. That's the stuff you really care about. You don't really care about serving people. What if I just mastered this lead generation game? That's what it was at first, like teaching people how to master the lead generation game. And then once we mastered the lead generation, it was like, okay, it don't matter how many leads you generate if you don't know how to convert them into clients. So I went really deep into that. So I was like nerding out, studying like these old white cats. It wasn't like there's a lot of brothers and sisters like in this space now, but then it wasn't that many of us. It was just a handful. And at this time, I'm like, man, who gonna listen to me? I got goals, I got tattoos, like, but I was like, let me just give it a shot. So I was studying all these older white cats who was teaching the market and stuff, and I was like, man, if I can master this, and I started teaching it to our people, it's game over. 500 and something thousand businesses get started every month. 8 out of 10 of those go out of business, and one of the biggest reasons they go out of business because they don't know how to get clients.
Right.
So if we can fix that, we can make some big things work. So I believe, right, and I say this all the time, the fastest way to grow wealth and grow sales is...
Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Listen, when I tell you this is going to be one of the best episodes that you've seen in your life. And I'm not just saying that. If you haven't seen the first episode that we did, that you are truly missing out. My next guest is a master marketer, the king of client attraction, somebody that I actually enjoy. Like every time this man speaks, I shut up and I let him speak, because he is somebody that's going to help you get all of the people that you need in order to get your business to the next level. So listen, Marquel Russell, arguably one of the best in the business when it comes to driving revenue growth for coaches and consultants. Marquel has an undeniable track record of success as a multi-million-dollar revenue generator, best-selling author, and rapid business growth strategist. He's earned a well-deserved title of King of Client Attraction. Marquel's genius lies in his innate talent for drenching his clients in a downpour of qualified leads that convert into more clients and more increased profits. In fact, his sharpshooting approach to lead generation has helped the coaches and consultants he's worked with pull in more than $1 billion in client success stories. I did not say that wrong. $1 billion in client success stories, billions of ad impressions, millions of high quality leads, and tens of thousands of new clients. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Marquel's story is the dynamic and dramatic transformation he's undergone. from a high school dropout and former drug dealer to the multi-millionaire entrepreneur who is today. Studies show that founders who overcome significant adversities are 36% more likely to achieve long-term success, a testament to the grit and determination that has fueled Marquel's meteoric rise. As the coaching and consulting industries continue to evolve, visionaries like Marquel stand poised to lead the charge. Join us. I need you to put your hands together. I need you to put the fires in the chat, in the comment, like, share, do all that stuff. Put your hand together for my brother.
Yeah, man. What's up, man? What a intro, like.
Man. Yo, I really appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
Because I told you this first episode that we did together about 2 years ago.
Yep.
And I think at the time,
still the most underrated
100%
show you've done.
No, that's a fact though. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I literally watched that show, and I'm like, yo, y'all don't realize how much game like he was giving on this. Like, you gave so much game away. And at the time, I want to say it was like $250,000. I think you were at the time, and that was impressive, right? And so to see everything that you've been doing, like literally, you like your game has been out off the chains. Meaning, like, I've seen not just I think at the time, like I would see your ads and I saw everything that you were doing, and I was introduced to you and I was like, man, this guy's a genius. But in the last 2 years, I've been really able to not just see your work, I've been seeing like your students though.
Right.
I'm talking about, like, I've been seeing people go crazy. And, when you talk to them, they're like, oh, yeah, that's my coach, Marquel, my coach. And so now it's not even from a perspective of like, like now you just chilling. Like, you're the sensei, you know what I'm saying? You're the OG. And like your students are going crazy online. And so I'm really, I really enjoy having this conversation with you, and I got a lot of lot of questions, a lot to ask, a lot to catch up on.
For sure.
But for those who didn't see the first episode or who don't know who you are, in your words, who is Marquel Russell?
So who is Marquel Russell? So I'm gonna be honest with you, man. So everything on the bio, like, that's the stuff that I do, right? And I think a lot of times, if we're not careful, we can get caught up, and our identity becomes the stuff that we do, right? So at the core, man, I'm a man of God. All the different titles, like, my favorite is dad, right? So I got kids. I'm a father, husband. I mean, that's the stuff that really matters, right? You know what I'm saying? I thought, you can make all the money. That's all the stuff that really matters. I dropped out of high school in 10th grade. I think, like you said, grew up in a drug-infested environment, survived it. A lot of my homies ain't survive it, right? They ain't here. You know what I'm saying? So some people be like, well, I don't really celebrate my birthdays. It's just another day. And I'm like, where I'm from, it ain't just another day. Yeah. Like, every day count. So, that's who I am. I love entrepreneurship. Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur supremacist, right? From selling bags of weed, when they, like, in school, you had the jocks who played football and stuff like that. You had performing arts. Like, I was the dude who had the weed. I played sports, but everybody was like, he got the weed. Like, that was my thing. So I always been entrepreneur. You knock on your door, hey, can I cut your grass? So I always been I'm an entrepreneur at heart, right? That's always been that. And it's just, God has always just blessed me to, like, prosper, like, whatever I put my hands to. So that's who I am at the core, man.
That's a blessing. And so, as the king of client attraction, right? Talk to us a little bit about how you got that name, and how did you figure out sort of like the master key to being able to attract clients at a high level?
For sure. So basically, when I got introduced to this whole world, it was probably about 10 years ago or so, right? So I was doing network marketing at first. So my journey was crazy. So I came through the streets. I started an entertainment company. So I was doing artist management and club promotions. So I used to be in the club every night. So when I was doing when I was doing artist management, and then I got plugged into club promotion, because my big homie who introduced me to his uncle who was managing the club said, hey, man, you might as well get a night and start promoting at the club. So I started doing that. And then while I was in there, it was in the club one night, somebody pitches me on network marketing. I didn't know what it was. He was just like, hey, who you know got a cell phone? Every time they pay their bill, you get paid. I'm like, hey, I know everybody got a cell phone, right? And so I went to a meeting, joined, $500 to get in. I'm like, that's easy. Jumped in, went to a conference. I saw all these black people winning. And I had never seen this before in my life. Fast forward, I had to learn how to market, right? Because it's network marketing, but they don't really teach you how to market. So they was like, talk to your friends and family, bring them to your home and do a whole presentation. But it's like, where I'm from, you don't bring people to your house, number one. Number two, I ain't bringing my homies to your house because y'all talking about some big money. And I know how my guys roll. So I'm like, I got to figure out another play. Somebody on my team ended up introducing me to online marketing. She sent me this 4-part video series. I watched this 4-part video series, and it sold me on an ebook for $40. And it was like, this is how you build a network marketing business without doing home meetings, without doing home parties. Here's how you do it. So I read this sales letter like 100 times. And I'm like, is this real? Like, these white boys getting all this money online, and you're going to teach me how to do it for $40? So I went to Walmart. This one they had the prepaid cards. I loaded my card up, went and bought the joint. And I bought that, and on the next page, it was like, hey, you got the ebook. Hey, you want this too.
Right.
So I'm like, whoa. So he was like, hey, I'm gonna teach you this, and the third. It's $297 or whatever it was. And I'm like, dang, I only loaded, you know what I'm saying? 50, 100 or whatever my card. So I'm like, okay, I got to go reload my card. So I went and reloaded my card, went back to the page, but I couldn't buy the thing. So I had to like reach out to buy the whole thing. But that really opened my eyes to like the power of marketing. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how great your product is, no matter how great your service is, no matter how great your book is. If nobody knows who it is,
Facts.
that nobody knows it exists, it don't really matter.
Facts.
Like if you think about burgers, like you probably know somebody who cook amazing burgers, but it's like who sells the most burgers? McDonald's,
McDonald's, yeah.
because they got the marketing on lock, right? Yeah. So in the we can just go down the list with that. So I was like, okay, cool. What if I just mastered this lead generation game? That's what it was at first, like teaching people how to master the lead generation game. And then once we mastered the lead generation, it was like, okay, it don't matter how many leads you generate if you don't know how to convert them into clients. So I went really deep into that. So I was like nerding out, studying like these old white cats. It wasn't like there's a lot of brothers and sisters like in this space now, but then it wasn't that many of us. It was just a handful. And at this time, I'm like, man, who gonna listen to me? I got goals, I got tattoos, like, but I was like, let me just give it a shot. So I was studying all these older white cats who was teaching the market and stuff, and I was like, man, if I can master this, and I started teaching it to our people, it's game over. So I just started really going down and buying the books, buying the courses, going to the events when nobody in there looked like me, and I was just taking everything that I was learning and just teaching. So you ever read the book, The Spook Who Sat by the Door?
Yep.
So I kind of took that approach. So I was like, my goal is to get into these rooms, learn it, bring it back to our people, so we can get the edge. And I just really locked in on getting clients, because if you can pick a big problem and solve it for a lot of people, that's how you get to the M's, right? So I was like, all right, there's, I think 500 and something thousand businesses get started every month. 8 out of 10 of those go out of business. And one of the biggest reasons they go out of business because they don't know how to get clients.
Right.
So if we can fix that, we can make some big things happen.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then, so what's your thoughts on, the state of, online marketing now, right? Because like you said, when you started, there was, it wasn't a lot of us, in the business. I know, I started my financial education journey teaching financial education in 2004, wrote my book 2009, my first book 2009. And one of the reasons was the same, where, there was only what's this guy's name? Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, And so I was like, all right, I want to spook this out by the door. I was a banker, learned all of this wealth building strategies. I'm going to take this information, I'm going to bring it back to my people. Now, not good or bad, but now there's thousands of people who look like us, who are teaching credit, who are teaching financial literacy strategies. What's your thoughts of this landscape right now?
So I think the landscape right now is like it's actually got to a point where you actually got to be good at what you do, right? For a long time, you didn't necessarily have to be good. You can just regurgitate what you've heard somebody else saying, and you can flash a car, or you can flash some cash, or you can flash a house, or some of that type of stuff. And people would, especially our people, because our people are typically visual, right? So they look to see money, when in reality, that's people who really having money don't look like it.
Facts.
It doesn't have a look.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of times when we don't really come from that, so we don't really know, right? So now you actually got to be good at it, because man, you'd be surprised, man, how many people come to us and it's like they teach people how to get credit, but they don't have good credit. They teach people how to get funding, but they don't got funding, right? They teach people how to do real estate, but they don't own no real estate. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy to me. So you really got to be good. Otherwise, we in a phase of like being exposed, and if we look on the internet, we see a lot of people who've been exposed 100%. For being frauds.
And I you know, I'm happy about that.
I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, because I think that, especially when you look at the last 4 years, I think you know, COVID was like the gift and the curse. You know what I'm saying? I think COVID sat a lot of people down, and so a lot of people, you know, were trying to figure out, all right, how do I change my situation, if you will, and so they were looking, you know, because people couldn't go outside, they were looking for mentors, and then all of a sudden you had this onslaught of, you know, new people jumping out trying to, you know, teach, and you know, a lot of money was made, a lot of money was made, right? But a lot of people were taken advantage of as well.
100%.
Right? And so now there's this negative taste, if you will, around the online coaching industry, where people, like you said, are they want you to prove, like they're not gonna fall for the lifestyle marketing no more.
Nah.
They want you to prove it. You know, from where you are right now, what is the best way to attract clients today?
So I think the best way, and I think the cool thing with what we teach and what we've always taught is like we haven't changed the strategy because it's principle based, right? And one thing I like about principles is principles don't change, right? So it's still like educate, out teach the market. So the best way to show people you can help them and prove to them you can help them is by actually helping them. A lot of times people say, well, I don't want to. People ask me, they say, Marquel, how do I draw the line of teaching but not teaching too much where they won't buy my stuff? And I'm like, well, if you think you're going to run out of stuff to teach, then you don't know enough. You need to get better, 100%. Right? So at the end of the day, it's like you can teach, but people still going to pay a premium for to help with the implementation because information is in abundance. But implementation isn't, and then real practitioners that can help you with it. So if you really want to prove to people that you're that, you need to be out here teaching in the market, adding real value, and not saying, well, I'm just going to teach this, but I'm going to hide this. It's like, no, if you who you say you are, teach it, and then the people are going to be like, okay, if the free stuff was this good, I can only imagine how much the paid stuff is.
Yeah, and I love that, because at the end of the day, that's exactly that, right? Like information is out there, especially when you think about AI, right?
100%.
Like now that AI is in the game, like I literally do not go to Google no more, right? Like before, I would have to go to Google and type what I want, scroll, trying to check to see find the answers. Literally, I go to ChatGPT and I ask the question, and it searches it for me, gives me not even just one answer, it gives me all different answers. So at the end of the day, you know, nobody's gonna pay me, pay you, pay anybody for information. But the truth of the matter is, it's what do you do with the information?
What do you do with it?
There's an application of information, and if you apply the information, the right information, right? Because you could ask ChatGPT right now, how do I build a six-figure business from a book? It's going to tell you some stuff, but it ain't going to tell you the stuff that I teach.
You need specialized knowledge.
You need specialized knowledge, right? I can ask ChatGPT, how do I attract clients? It's going to give me a bunch of stuff, but it ain't going to give me what Marquel teaches.
I mean, information, you got to have specialized knowledge, right? So it's like, and the only way you get specialized knowledge is by actually being in the trenches and like doing it, right? So it's like, and most people, they haven't went in the trenches and actually did it. They just read a book about it, or they got on a webinar about it, or they went through a course, or they went to an event, and it's like now they're an expert at the thing, or somebody gave them a private label rights thing and they stamped their name on it, and they're like, I'm that person now. And it's like, no, you only get that by going through the trenches. Like even if you hire a coach, right? that isn't even your saving grace, because I look at, so coaches are like good pilots, right? So it's like that's going to guide you through it. You're still going to experience the turbulence, right? Even with a coach, it's just going to make you a better pilot, right?
Yeah.
But it's still like, hey, I paid Ash, but I still had some challenges. It's like, no, you don't avoid the challenges. Right. You just become a better pilot, like when the turbulence comes up, because now you can ask certain questions. Now you can get certain insight that you ain't gonna get through ChatGPT. Because like even with ChatGPT, it's only as good as the questions you ask it.
Absolutely, 100%.
And the quality of your questions is gonna be based on the knowledge you have. Like if you don't know any, you can always tell somebody's experience by the questions that they ask.
Yeah.
Right. So if they like, well, hey man, what domain should I get? It's like you already know like where they are, right? Absolutely. Or how should I publish my book? Or what's this pixel thing? Or, so it's like you can always tell somebody's question. But then they're like, hey, I'm looking to, I got a couple companies I'm looking to do a roll up so I can do an exit and get the highest multiple possible. Yeah. You having a different conversation.
100%.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so you got to go into chat. Even with Google, Google is only as good as the questions that you ask it. Yeah. And you're only going to get a certain level of question by having a certain level of specialized knowledge.
Yeah, no, 100%. What would you say is the biggest mistake people are making right now online as it relates to trying to attract clientele?
I think one of the biggest mistakes people are making are they're trying to be everything to everybody versus saying so the biggest thing I hear a lot is like, well, if I niche down, then I'm gonna leave money on the table. And I'm like, well, if you don't niche down, you're going to leave money on the table. Yeah. Because anything that's for everybody is for nobody. Like if you look at the biggest companies in the world, like Apple, one of the most successful companies ever, they still don't serve everybody. Right? Android, they don't serve everybody. Right. Walmart.
And Android is $2 billion.
You get what I'm saying? Right. Like Walmart don't serve everybody. I hate Walmart. Facts. Right? But Walmart don't care because I hate Walmart because they got X amount, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like you got to be for a specific person solving a specific problem in a specific way. And most people are trying to be everything to everybody and they're not willing to like niche down and like pick who they're going to serve. Yeah.
And one of the other things I kind of hear though is that like, there are people who are starting, a business and they're trying to get more eyes on their business. And they're like, you know what, like I'm afraid to get on camera or I don't want to talk about the business. What's your thoughts on that? How can you get around not wanting to be on camera?
So here's the thing. So that same person will tell you that they also want to serve people. So I'm like, well, why you want to do this business? Oh, I want to serve people. I want to help people. All right, well, cool. Well, here's how you shoot the video. Oh, well, I don't want to get on video because fill in the blank with excuse. Right. It's like, well, no, you don't want to serve people. You care more about how you look or how you going to come off. Like, you don't really want to serve people, though. Right. Like, so, and that's okay. But be honest about it, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Be honest about it. Just be like, I care more about how I look, what people may say about me, which they typically probably aren't because people don't even care about you as much as you think you do. I care about how I sound on video. That's the stuff you really care about. You don't really care about serving people. So that's one thing. Number two, now, can you build a brand without being the face? Yes, you can. You just got to hire somebody or bring somebody on who's going to be the face of the company. Now, you can have companies. So if you look at, a lot of times people are like, I want to just do a faceless brand. Yeah. And that can work. Yeah. But again, if you look at success leaves clues. If you look at the most successful companies in the world, they all have a face tied to it in some type of way. Even when we look back when we were growing up, McDonald's had Ronald McDonald. Right. Nike went out and got Michael Jordan. Right. Because they know that people want to resonate with some kind of personality. So it ain't no difference now. Yeah. And that's a great point because I think that in my head I'm thinking, man, when you think about like the Elon Musk and the like all these people now, but I didn't realize, like I realized it, but I never put that together, right? Because I think today the people that are showing their faces are the owners. Yeah. But to your point, Nike had Michael Jordan. Yeah. There was always like a person or something. Reebok had AI.
Right.
Like AI helped bring Reebok back.
Right.
So all of them had some type of personalities. Right. Because it's like, because you're selling to humans.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Humans like to connect with humans. That's why I think, especially now, especially with everybody using AI, the more you can humanize yourself in your marketing 100%. And make yourself real personable, that's going to really help set you apart. Because like people, AI is cool, but it's like the consumer doesn't necessarily want to, interact with AI. They want to see, okay, is this a real person?
Exactly.
On that,
and they can tell.
And they can tell, 100%.
Because you have a personality. You have humans have a certain energy. Computers
100%.
don't have an energy.
100. You're never going to go to the barbershop and it would be robots and they're cutting everybody.
Right, exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Because the truth of the matter is that's not what we go to the barbershop.
That's not what we go to the barbershop.
I got a bald head. I go to the barbershop every week.
You see what I'm saying? But you ain't gonna never go in there and be like, hey, Ash, come, sit, welcome. Like, it ain't gonna happen. Like, you want to go in there, hey, what's up, homie? What's good? What's happening? Boom, boom, boom.
Exactly.
That's the
vibe.
Therapy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the vibe.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And so what about ads, right? Is ads the answer for everybody?
So the ads work. So I believe, right, and I say this all the time, the fastest way to grow wealth and grow sales is learning how to turn advertising into profit. So it's an answer at a certain point, right? Yeah. So if you haven't figured out who your ideal client is, right? If you don't know what you're selling, you don't got your messaging tied right, you don't got your pricing right, you don't got your funnel and your economics and all that tight. So those are the things you got to have right first. If you got a bad offer, it doesn't matter how much you spend on ads. Like if your pricing is off, it doesn't matter how much you spend on ads. So you got to have those fundamental things in place. You got to understand advertising from a mindset standpoint. You got to have the right price points, the right funnel, the right messaging. All those things have to be in place first, and then you turn ads on to really turn it up. But a lot of times people say, well, I'm going to just do ads, but they say I'm going to run ads to my ebook.
Right.
And that's all they got.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how much is your ebook? And they're like, well, it's $13. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, with your $13 ebook, you may spend $30 to get a customer. Like, how long can you do that?
Wow.
But a lot of people who teach ads online or teach funnels, they don't really teach all the economics and how it play out.
Right.
So they'll say, hey, go sell an ebook and then, have a funnel, upsell funnel or whatever. But they don't really teach that. They're typically that low ticket funnel is designed to help them either break even or they're willing to even go in the red a little bit because they're going to make all their money on the back end with their $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 offers. But they'll just tell the average consumer, because they typically know the average person ain't going to go do nothing anyway.
Right.
But they'll typically say, hey, go do an ebook, sell it for $7. And then you might put like a $97 upsell or something like that. And then maybe like a $197. But most times when people have those funnels, they're not even, most of them definitely not profitable on that funnel. But if you break even, you're at a great place because now you can get all these customer leads for free.
Right.
But most of them are willing to go in the red for 60, 90 days because they know on the back end, that's where they're going to generate the real revenue.
Right.
So you got to have your whole business and your economics and all that. And then you turn ads on to like basically put gasoline on it.
Yeah. And I think that people are so used to or wanting to follow trends or follow what people are doing or think they see what people are doing and follow suit because again, what you just said here is really about making sure that you follow the numbers, right? So it's not just I'm gonna do ads or I want 2 to 1. I'm gonna or I'm gonna for every $2 I want $4 back. But there's numbers, there's things that you have to test. What would you say is a good sort of like price point, right? As it relates to sort of to digital products, right? So I think that again, we went through a period where, I first started selling online courses in like 2018. Yeah. And when I first started, I was playing around with the 297s, you know what I'm saying, the 497s or whatever. Eventually, I went up to the 3,000-5,000s or whatever. Yeah. And then when we had this period where the appetite in our community was there for high ticket, I started to go and, me and others would do 5-day challenges that led to high ticket. Somewhere along the line, I started to notice a decline, right? A decline in, the willingness of people to pay high ticket. I started to see a decline in, even pricing, you get somebody on a free webinar, if you don't price your product or service the right way, it's not gonna do anything. What would you say is that sweet spot, that price point that works for people in this current climate?
So I think it depends, right? So again, I think it's so many variables, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, who's the market, what's the offer, all those different things, right? So for example, let's say, so on webinars, again, all of this really boils down to like, what's your back end structure, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just use an example. So let's say a lot of people, like, let's just use webinars for example. Mm-hmm. So webinars, typically I'll see people sell $9.97. Mm-hmm. Typically they just see other people selling it for $9.97. But a lot of times what I've seen is that people who really crush it with webinars, and that's all they do, they probably get like a 3 to 5% conversion rate on a webinar, right? So you really got to understand your economics. So what does that mean? So that means, and they get like let's call it a 30% show up rate. So let's say they get 1,000 people registered for the webinar. Let's say they just so happen, depending on the market, let's say they get $10 registration costs. So that's 1,000 people times $10, so they spent $10,000 on ads, right? So out of those 1,000 people, if their follow-up process is really solid, let's say they get a 30% show-up rate. Now, there are some unicorns who crush some of these numbers, but I want to be conservative. So they get 300 people to show up. So they get 300 to show up. Let's say 200 of them, 250 of them stick around to the end. So and then once we get, so 250 gets to the end, they see the offer. And then let's say, so 10% of that would be 25. So 5% of that would be like 12, right? So you spent 12. So it's 12 people who bought $9.97. So you right around like $12,000, right? And of course you got merchant fees and all that different type of stuff. So after all that, all said and done, you pretty much back at break even,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So now you got to have a process like, okay, what happens after that with those $1,000 customers?
Yeah.
Like, are you taking some of them? So I get an example. So I got a buddy of mine, he was crushing his webinar for a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey man, once they buy your thing, what happens after that? And I was like, do you got like a high ticket coaching program or anything? He was like, no. So I helped him create an offer. It was $5,000. So what happened was they would buy the webinar offer. They would, hopefully somebody listening to this, they're gonna go implement this.
Right.
So they would buy the offer and they would take them into a call process, right? And they'll get on the call, and then he was selling like 2 or 3 of those $5,000 offers every single day. So now he was able to increase his profitability. And now since he had more profitability, now he can put more in ads and he can like scale the whole thing. But again, you said it a few minutes ago, if you don't understand your numbers,
right,
then it doesn't work, right? Because, and then, so let's do another example. So let's say you do, a book funnel. So I see a lot of people doing free plus shipping offers, right?
Yeah.
But again, they say, well, get the book for free, pay $7.95 for shipping.
Yeah.
And it's like they're only doing it because they see other people doing it.
Right.
But it's like, depending on where you shipping to,
right,
shipping probably might cost you a little bit more than $7.95, right?
Yeah.
And then you got cost of the book. I mean, you done did books. You know how much
100%.
printing costs, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're not careful and you don't got this thing dialed in and you just doing it because you saw somebody else doing it, you're gonna lose your shirt.
Yeah.
Because like, how much can you go, right?
Yeah.
One of the things I love is like a higher ticket offer. I like the higher ticket offers, like what is premium price, mid ticket, whatever people call, people got all kind of names for it. But I like the offers where you can charge $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or more because you got more meat on the bone, right? So let's say, for example, let's say we took that same $10,000 and spend, right? So let's say we took that same $10,000 and spend, we ran them into a page where they can opt in for like a case study video where you're teaching something. You're like, hey, I'm gonna teach you my formula for publishing your book in one weekend. So they opt in for that free video. Let's say we spent that same $10,000. Let's say we still got $10 leads. So we got 1,000 people to register. We got 1,000 people to opt in, right? So typically what we found after a ton of data, we're gonna get about 10% of those to book a call. So we got 1,000 leads, right? So we got a 10% to book a call. So we got 100 people to book a call. So if we got 100 people to book a call, wait, is my numbers right?
1,000 leads, yep.
1,000 leads,
10%,
10% to 100. So we got 100 to book a call.
Yep.
So out of those 100 that booked the call, we got, let's say 50 showed up,
Yep.
right? 50 showed up, And then let's say your offer is 10,000. And then 50 of those 50 that showed up, we got 20% of those to buy.
Yep.
So we at what? 10 sales.
10 sales,
So 10 sales times 10,000, you at 100 grand.
Yep.
So you at like a 10x ROAS on your spend. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even if you, so let's say for example you didn't close 20% and you only closed 10%.
Right. You still
you got 10% of a 50. You still got 5 enrollments.
Yeah.
So you made 50,000 from $10,000 in spend.
Yeah.
So you got it's way more room for error.
Yeah.
But
you have to have the right offer though.
You got to have the right offer.
Yeah, because and
that's with either model. You got to have the right offer either way it goes.
Right, because you know, like one thing you and I see this all the time. Like you said, people don't fully understand the fullness of a funnel.
Yeah.
So all they do, they got a book.
Yeah.
And they got maybe a course. Like you said, they got a book, upsell to 97.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's over.
Yep. And they ain't took no time to like really make, because like I tell people a lot of times, a lot of people underestimate the task at hand.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people underestimate how hard it is to get somebody to buy anything at any price.
Yeah.
Even if it's $1.
Right.
And it's harder to sell something for $1 online.
Right.
You're gonna put just as much work online to sell something for $1 than you're gonna do to sell something for $10,000.
Facts.
So it's like a lot of times people think they can just throw something on the page because somebody told them that all they got to do is do this and they can just charge this.
Yeah.
But they don't really get the context. So if you get somebody who has a million person email list and you're just starting out, you don't got the leverage they got. Yeah, they can send out an email, sell an ebook for $7 and make $70,000 a weekend.
Exactly.
You don't got none of that.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, again, people don't get all the context and people would rather believe a lie.
Right.
People would rather believe that it's that easy.
Right.
When in reality it's not. It takes skill.
100%.
It just, people, sometimes people make it look easy or they at least make you think it looks easy because they got the rented whips and the cars for the weekend and all different type of stuff. And you like, oh, I can just buy your thing and I can have all that. And it's like, no, that ain't how it works.
Because you know, I see what Hope said. Now you got these young cats acting like this stuff, right? All in their dub raps, right? Like it's funny because and I don't, you know, I don't say this to joke, but I see like new people. I'm not going to say young, but I just see new people coming into the game, almost running like the same plays that don't work no more. You know what I'm saying? And if they do work, they work not at scale, right? They're gonna work enough for you to get a car, maybe. And you say to yourself like, you know, why are they regurgitating things that no longer work instead of just learning the business for real, right? Like, and I think that's one of the things that I appreciate about you, and how you coach and your clientele is not just about teaching client attraction. It's about teaching business for real.
Bro, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I've witnessed one of your coaching calls where you're like going through like you're analyzing, like you're going through analytics, like you're going through the same type of analytics. Like if somebody's trying to exit out of a company and like, all right, you know, what's this number? What's that number? Like we're like really going through the business aspect of it. And unfortunately, a lot of people, it's like it's almost like they're missing one thing, right? Either you have a great product and you suck at marketing, or you have great marketing but your product sucks.
All that.
Right.
You gotta have the whole thing, right? So I posted this a couple weeks ago. It's like just because you have a course doesn't mean you have a business. Just because you got a coaching program doesn't mean you got a business. Just because you got a funnel doesn't mean you got a business. Just because you got ads doesn't mean you got a business. Like you gotta have marketing, you gotta have sales, you gotta have product, you gotta have fulfillment, you gotta have team, you gotta have finance, and you gotta be able to tie the harmony in from a lifestyle. So you gotta have the whole thing. But a lot of times people think that they're building a business and they're not. Like, man, I done talked to so many people and they're doing 30, 40, 50, 60,000, $100,000 a month. And it's just them. They don't got a team. They don't got a CPA. I was talking to a guy recently It was a couple conversations actually, and we was like looking at doing like emergence, like some M&A type structures, right? And it was like going through all the numbers or whatever, and I was like, hey, what's your finance team? And like, it was like he didn't really have a finance team. He was pretty much doing it himself and so forth. And I'm like, wow, okay, we got to fix that first.
Right.
But a lot of time when we out here, especially because you go from like just starting out. Once you get the right things and you start implementing, you can go from 0 to 50, 60,000 per month pretty quickly.
Right.
And you like, okay, what happened?
Right.
But now you still operating as a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
You still living out of your business account.
Yeah.
You ain't really thought none of that through because ain't nobody teaching it. Everybody's just teaching you how to do a challenge or how to do a webinar or how to do whatever, but they ain't really teaching you, hey, once you get to this and you start making this, you need to have this in place because Uncle Sam gonna want his. So, but if you went and balled out, and you went and got this, and the third. When them folks want theirs, you ain't gonna have it to cut that check, and you're gonna be in a world of trouble. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna be in some problem. But again, we ain't teaching like the whole holistic business aspect to really build something for real.
Yeah. Talk to me about your new book, The Client Attraction Machine: The Secret System to Get Leads, Daily Clients, Weekly, and Make Sales Unnecessary.
Yeah, so I was hesitant. I was hesitant for a minute to write the book, right? Because I like the premium price offers, right? It ain't really a ton of money in books. You know what I'm saying? However, I was like, man, I know a lot of people ain't to the point where they ready to work with us at that level, and we super specific about who we work with at that level, especially now. So I was like, how do I still get this out to individuals where they can still get the necessary information? So they can actually, and not only just the information, but they get the implementation and the processes to actually go do it. So now they can actually build themselves up to a point where we can work together at a high level, or they just take that and then go implement on their own and they're good. So we basically took our whole system and then put it in like something you can sit down in one sitting, read it, implement as you go. Because I don't really like books that, some books that it's 300, 400, 500 pages, and the majority of it is stories and backstory and data, and a lot of that stuff I ain't really into. I like real practical books that I can implement as I go through it. So that's how we set it up, where it's like a reference guide where you can literally open up to any page at any point and be like, oh, boom, I got that. I can go implement that right away.
Yeah. What's your why? Why do you have a passion for helping people?
So I believe that I think that entrepreneurship really helps you tap into your true potential. Like entrepreneurship is going to either make you level up, or it's going to expose you first. It's going to expose you to you. You're going to realize who you really are in entrepreneurship. We work with clients, and I tell people this all the time, and they think it's funny, but it's like we work with clients, and through our process of working together, they realized they didn't want to be entrepreneurs. And that's a great investment. Like if you invest X amount and you realize, hey, this entrepreneurship thing ain't for me, that's a great investment because you done saved a whole lot of money out here playing around, right? So it's going to expose you to you. I also believe, especially as a Black community, economic power is the real fight. That's what we're really up against. It ain't we get distracted with all the other stuff, but if we want better schools for our kids, we need economic power. We want better jobs for our people. We need economic. We got to create the jobs. Like Black people going to hire Black people, hopefully, right? Jewish people hire Jewish people. Asians hire Asians. Chinese. We know how that goes. So we got to build businesses where we can hire our own people. And unfortunately, I read a stat that said 97% of Black businesses are sole proprietors, meaning that they never hire anybody. So it's like, are you really building a business? No, you probably just created some short-term cash. But if we really want to create real wealth, real estate, and like real ownership, we got to build businesses. So, and it's like, how do we do this? Like, you got to learn marketing. You got to learn sales. You got to learn this whole process. So that's one of the things that get me excited, and even exposing my kids to it. Like, I don't force like some people's like, my kids got to be entrepreneurs. I don't believe everybody has to be entrepreneurs. I don't believe everybody's entrepreneurs. Like, some people got to work, and there's nothing wrong with a job. Like, I never bash jobs. Like, you may have a gift or a skill, and you may say, I love what Ash is doing. I want to bring my skills over to help him build. And now you're an entrepreneur. But I don't think entrepreneurship gets the conversation that it should have.
Right.
So I just expose my kids to entrepreneurship and be like, okay, here's what's possible, and they can just kind of decide what they want. So that's what I do with our youth entrepreneurship program. Like, they may not all become entrepreneurs, but it's like still the skills and the knowledge and the way of thinking, they can take that and go apply it anywhere they want to implement.
Yeah. No, I love that, man, because like, again, it's like important for people to understand, like you said, like you have to have you have to have the stomach for it though.
Oh, too, for sure.
Right? Like you have to have the stomach for it. You have to have be able to go with the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs. Like it's never a straight line. What would you say has been the biggest challenge you face as an entrepreneur?
The biggest challenge, so man, can I say the biggest? I would say one of the biggest challenges is understanding that I can't expect me from everybody. So it's like, just because I got to be solid just because I'm solid, not be solid because I expect others to be solid and reciprocate what I pour out. I got to just be me and operate in that and not expect. Because, you can easily be like, hey, man, I was solid. I kept it 1,000. I did this and the third. You're like, dang, I don't get the same thing.
Right.
But I had to get comfortable and just normalize, like, no, just be solid because you solid, not because you're expecting anything in return from it.
Right. And then do you think that because you're very careful with sort of like your words that you use, right? So like it's client attraction, right? And even like, I'm like, all right, the client attraction machine, like even in the title, you're saying that it's the secret system to get leads daily, clients weekly, and make selling unnecessary. When I think about attraction, I think about a magnet, right? I think about a magnet that's able to pull things to them, right? And so client attraction means that I'm pulling, this thing to me. And when you say make selling unnecessary, that's the icky stuff that people don't like is the selling. What about like how? Like how do you what about your system that attracts clients? And how do you make selling unnecessary?
How do you make selling unnecessary? So great marketing makes selling unnecessary because it's like now people show up ready to buy. So we have a process in our system called the effortless enrollment system. And basically it's like when you do this right, people show up on the call and they sell you on why you should allow them to buy versus you selling them on why they should buy. Because now you're lean. Because most people, when they approach selling, it's like a lean in approach. They're trying to make the sale. But enrollment is a leaning out approach. So if you think about it, you went to college?
Yeah.
What college did you go to?
Baruch College.
So
in New York.
So I'm not sure if it's the same thing for you, but it's like I know from people who I know who go to college, they first got to apply, and then they got to get accepted. Right. Even if you pull up with a duffel bag of cash and you like, hey, I'm gonna pay for the 4 years, you still got to get accepted.
100%.
And then from there, then they enroll you, but you got to meet their criteria. A lot of individuals, service-based business owners, consultants, coaches, they don't run their business the same way. So you got to run that thing like an Ivy League situation, like it's criteria to get in here. So people will DM me and be like, hey man, how much is it to work with y'all? And I'm like, well, it depends. Like we got to find out if we're a fit and if we can even help you, because if we can't help you and you don't meet the criteria and you're going to be a cancer to the community, you got to meet certain criteria. And now they're leaning in, like, okay, because people want what they can't have. So now they're like, hey, well, tell me more. I need to find out more. Well, why should, what made you reach out? Oh, because of this is in the third. Okay, why now? Oh, because this is in the third. Like, if we were to let you in, would you even implement? Because we don't just want to bring people in who ain't going to implement. Oh, man, I'm absolutely going to implement. But why are you so sure? Oh, because this is in the third. So now they selling you on why. You see what I'm saying?
My God.
And this ain't even no like crazy psychology. It's legit just like, 100%. Why should I? Because money is a commodity. Like it's everywhere. Like our expertise isn't. Our expertise is the asset. Like the money you bring, like you can spend 10 or 15,000, but like at the end of the day, if somebody give you 15,000 to work with you, is that really gonna change your life? No. Will it change theirs if they apply it? Absolutely. But a lot of times, service-based business though, they don't operate from that particular level. of belief in their expertise. And when you do that, now people will sell you on it. But again, you got to have the marketing in place where now people see you as the expert. They see you as the solution. They see your system as the thing that's going to help them get to where they are. And it's a clear, here's my current reality, here's my preferred reality, and they see the gap. Yeah. And you make money in the gap. If it ain't no gap, they ain't going to buy anyway. So you got to be clear on like, here's my gap. And they like, Ash can help me close the gap faster than me doing it on my own. Then they're like, well, how do I sign up? Because money, price is never an issue in the presence of value. So when they see the value, price doesn't matter.
Right. Powerful. What are you currently working on? Like what's the next step? Or when you look at, client attraction, university and what you're doing, what's next?
So the biggest thing for us is we our focus, we've been in a huge like simplification of everything, right? So we're simplifying everything. So we grew our team. I think last year we had a team of like 35, right? And I think in hindsight, I think I got caught up in a lot of like ego-driven growth. It's like a thing, right? 100%. And I know you don't hear this online, but we're gonna talk about it, right? So it's like you can get caught up in ego-driven growth. Because I got into a point where everything was like bigger.
Yes.
Like let's break this revenue. We made that revenue. Yep. Let's go bigger this month. We did that event. Let's double it next event. You know what I'm talking about, right? We did that. Let's double that. And I got caught up in that because that's how I'm wired. But then when I sat down and was just like, we talked about it before we started, like, why am I doing this? Thanks. Right? I never got into this to be famous. Right? It just turned into, and I don't think I'm famous in like a small corner of the world. Let's be clear. Meaning a small group of people. But that was never my goal, right? So I was like, okay, how do we? So I was teaching our clients at our Wealthy Black CEO camp the MOV operation. Like, what's the minimum? What an MVO? What's the minimum viable operation that you require? So I was telling them to figure out what's your ideal revenue goal. That's number one. What's your ideal profit? Because a lot of times we focus on revenue, but we don't look at profit. Profit is what you feel me?
What we want.
So exactly. So we like, what's the ideal monthly goal, and what's the ideal profit? And then once you get that, what's the minimum? What's the maximum amount of hours that you want to work per week? Right? What's the maximum amount of hours you want to work? And then based on that, what's the minimum team that you require? Right? And then you reverse engineer your model based on that. So like, okay, well, I only need X amount of people, right? So it's like we sliced so we probably got about 12 or 13 people on the team now compared to 35 because as you scale, and it's one of the deadly things about scale that people don't talk about, when you scale, everything scales. So it's like software costs, team members that shouldn't be there, expenses, the whole 9 yards, and you'll get this bloat within the company. So now you got a lot of people on the team, and then you get this managerial debt because you got people on the team who should have been fired, but because it's so much going on, and then you might not have the right managers in place, ain't nobody making decisions, and they're waiting for you to make the decisions. So it's like as you scale, you get all this bloat within the company, and now as you're scaling, you're generating more top line revenue, but your profit is dwindling at the same time, right? So it's like we're at a place where it's like, okay, how do we simplify things? And I'm focused on optimizing based on profit, happiness, and client results, right? So it got to be, is this making me? I don't care how much money I'm making. If I ain't happy, it doesn't make me happy to do it. If I can't go to sleep at night, it doesn't matter, right? Profit. Like, how do we want to be profitability wise, right? Because profit is where you're going to build your wealth in the grand scheme of things, and then client results. So really optimizing and creating a real streamlined machine, lean team, all that good stuff. And then outside of that, building our portfolio companies where like getting equity in other companies, helping them grow and scale. Because we got the systems and the operations and everything to come in and take the business to $10 million or more. So now it's like, okay, how do we come install these systems into these different companies, and then we get some equity in it, and that's how you really grow it. Because at one point I was like, all right, how do we get to $1 billion? I was like, we grow one. In my mind, I'm thinking linearly, right? So it's like you grow one company to $1 billion, but as you grow, you understand that ain't how it's played. Like you don't get there by growing one company to 100 million, or one company to $500 million, or one company to $1 billion. You build a portfolio of companies. Let's say we want to get to 100 million. We start doing some roll ups and stuff like that. You got some nice exits, and I ain't involved in the day to day. Right. So you take these. That's why skill development is so powerful,
Yeah.
because now you go in and you can get equity in the company without any money up front.
Facts.
Because of the skills that you bring, that you develop, and now they'll give you whatever equity you negotiate. And now once these companies sell for 20, 30, 40, 50 million, and you got you 25% in there, I mean, that ain't a bad. That's high ticket.
100%. And, you know, and I'm glad you said that, because I think that you know, especially like in our space, you know, this is something, you know, I'll just say new, right? When you think mergers and acquisitions, from an entrepreneur perspective, it's the others who have done that game. But when you truly think about what you desire, it only makes sense to get in there. The only reason you would stay in a business that your name is involved and your likeness is really because you want the attention. Right, you want the attention, you want the fame, you want but all work works. All work works. All work works. When you understand the systems and how it works, you don't have to be in the front. You get like it's repeatable. You can find 10 different businesses and run the same play with all 10 businesses and get some predictable results. Even
100, because it's a system. Like, you take the system, even with all our clients, it's like, hey, especially our clients in like our CEO camps, is like, what makes your company valuable is not you.
Right.
What makes you valuable is the systems that you build.
Right.
So if I can come into your company, it's like, okay, cool, y'all got an operations issue. So now we bring all the SOPs over and we apply them into your business. Now we've streamlined it, and now your profits was here because you had too many people on your team.
Right.
And you had too many people on your team because your operations weren't tight. Now we come in and we implement operations. We've doubled your profit without even generating no more revenue. Like, how valuable is that? It's like, oh, your marketing is sucking. Your ads ain't profitable how you want. Oh, that's easy. We come in, we analyze everything, we bring our systems in, boom. Now we've, increased your ROAS by 5x. Like, how valuable is that? And it's like, no, don't pay me nothing up front, right? I want to come in if it's somebody I know I can rock with. And most of these relationships start with clients anyway, right? Because it's like, now we've worked together 3 months, 6 months, a year. Now it's like, okay, we can rock, and we can really build something, because now we're looking at, we want to do a 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 million exit. This got to be somebody you can trust, and somebody who's going to do what they say they're going to do and not be trying to hide stuff and stuff like, because like I get people reach out all the time like, hey man, I just want to partner with you. Right. And a lot of times that's just cold word if they want free coaching.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right. It's like, why you want to partner with me? You don't even know me.
Right.
So it's automatically red flag. But as we develop a relationship, now it's like, how do we build something? And it really makes them happen.
No, 100%. Man, if people want to connect, they want to tap in, where can they find you?
I mean, I'm all over the internet. So it's like Instagram, whatever your favorite platform is, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, shoot me a DM. I mean, I would say the first thing to do is get a copy of the book, The Client Attraction Machine, especially if you're a service-based business, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a fitness trainer, you're a CPA, you're a chiropractor. If you want more clients consistently and predictably, go to caplaybook.com, playbook.com, and like the bonuses that I give you with the book, because my biggest thing is implementation. So you get like a 7-day fast start series to go with the book, so you can implement the stuff in there. You get templates, you get script, you get the whole 9 yards, because I want you to apply it and this not just be a book that you get and it just takes up dust. So in the next couple minutes, you actually can have your hands on the Client Attraction Machine by going to caplaybook.com.
All right, dope. Look, caplaybook.com. I promise you will read this book. It will change your entire life. Matter of fact, the Millionaire Expert is you still like that. That's still a gem, though.
Yeah, for sure. That's still a gem. So that was one of my first books, because I was like, okay, how do you take your knowledge and expertise? How do you pack it up? How do you package it up? And attract people to buy your knowledge and expertise. So that's literally the blueprint of how you package your knowledge and expertise and systemize it. So if you get the CA Playbook, if you go to caplaybook.com, I'm gonna just do this on here, right? So if you go to caplaybook.com, grab your copy of the Client Attraction Machine, send me a DM on Instagram and let me know you got a copy of the book, and just send me like a screenshot, and I'll give you a copy of the Millionaire Expert.
There you got it, y'all. caplaybook.com. Make sure you tap in, Get your copy ASAP. I promise you it will change your life. We are closing out the vault. Another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Make sure you visit us, InsideTheVaultShow.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. Me, I am Ash Cash. Make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Follow me on all social media platforms at I am Ash Cash, and join the Abundance Community. Go to theabundancecommunity.com, theabundancecommunity.com. We meet on a daily basis. We are masterminding. We're helping you get to that abundance that is your birthright. We're actually going through our abundance cleanse, which is our 90-day program that teaches you how to reshape your mindset in order to be able to attract the abundance that is your birthright. So go to theabundancecommunity.com. Again, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank you, insiders, for always rocking with me. I will see you next time, same place. But guess what? In God's will. All right, y'all. Peace.